Welcome, BeamNG fans. Welcome, Grand Marshal fans. Welcome, Please Chase fans. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my co-commentator, Devion. Welcome to episode 7 of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament here on this beautiful map of Gold Coast.
Once again, it's a great day for a police chase, and looks like we get tons of action going on in Gold Coast.
Indeed, we do have plenty of action. Last episode was full of all kinds of things. Alliances, aggressiveness, and some of the most unexpected competitors getting the point. But in any event, speaking of our competitors, it is time to run through the lineup. In our first position, we have Mississippi State Trooper with 3 points and with an impromptu alliance with Transit Police. These two doing what they can try to do in order to unseat Police Interceptor in the second place position in order to unseat him with currently 5 points from this tournament. He has held that first place position for a long time, and Mississippi and Transit Police have decided to put a stop to this. In the third place position, one of the most insane wins in the previous round is Fairhaven City, channeling that underdog spirit, fighting all the way through it all, and finally reaching themselves that third place position. I believe they're tied with someone. Hold on, let me check. They may have been tied with French National. Hold on, let me check my notepad document here. They're actually tied with no one because the only person that had 2 points was French National Police, who was eliminated. We'll get to that. Meanwhile, Fairhaven City now in the third place position, just behind Transit Police, Mississippi, and Police Interceptor, finally managing to channel all that underdog energy into points, finally managing them to get themselves on the board, and winning themselves an absolutely spectacular victory in that previous round. And emerging from the swamps of his native land, our new competitor replacing French National Police is the Louisiana State Police car, specifically the one that has like the lighter blue color. There's actually 2 of them. And this one has the more modern light bar, the light blue color, some extra detailing on the back, and an actual Louisiana license, custom actual Louisiana license plate. And yes, they will be replacing French National Police in this episode, in this tournament actually, not just the episode, unless they do horribly. They will be replacing French National Police, and they will be taking the 4th position in our lineup. In the 5th place position behind the newcomer Louisiana State Police is New York City Transit Police with 3 points, finally managing to make a name for himself now that he has made an alliance with the Mississippi State Trooper car. With that victory in the East Coast Division from the past, he will be able to use that expertise here in this tournament against some of the more hefty competitors here. Hopefully that will allow him to acquire some even more wins with his impromptu teammate. In the 6th place position, hailing from the game True Crime Streets of New York, released in 2005, we have True Crime Dark Blue. There is a white version. He is referred to as True Crime Dark Blue because, as you can see, his design is dark blue, bringing a lot of the bugs and glitches from his own game, bringing a lot of that same competitive spirit and some of that determination that the main character, I believe his name is Marcus, has. Yes, him. Yes. Meanwhile, over here we have Detroit Police, who has managed to accomplish. He actually has a point, so I was managing to accomplish a win on 1 round, I believe. Let me just have a look. Yes, he has 1 point. He has 1 point. I can't actually see the overlay that you're seeing. It would be useful if I could, but we do not have the technology for that. Yes. So Detroit Police with 1 point, but besides that, accomplishing pretty much nothing of note except for throwing a shipping container off the freaking cliff. So well done him. He gets style points at least. And in the final position, speaking of style points, we have Belasco City, who currently does not have any points, but I have to say, throwing a monkey wrench into an entire round by becoming a roadblock and screwing over Police Interceptor, the front runner, is going to be talked about for a while. That's going to go down in history. So in a certain way, that is better than a point in this game. So yes, let's see if Belasco City will be able to capitalize on this newfound fame and finally get himself on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for round number, I believe, 19. So activate your sirens, turn on the lights, fasten your seatbelts, start your engines, because round number 19 is about to begin. Yes, our competitors are off, ladies and gentlemen. They are actually taking my advice and activating their sirens one by one. How about it? Fairhaven City in the 3rd position, Louisiana State Police, our newcomer, Transit Police in 5th, True Crime Dark Blue as well in the, I believe, 6th position, yes, and our competitors are now off, ladies and gentlemen. The Gavril Barstow is now running around the ditch turn at the moment, heading over to the cinematic corner as well, followed closely by Mississippi Police Interceptor and Fairhaven, our 3 front runners in the lineup.
It doesn't seem like they're following that closely. Doesn't seem like they're following that closely this time, actually, because Mississippi is further back than like in the previous rounds that we have done.
I agree. Definitely seems like the strategies could be a bit interesting, but in the meantime, how has the lineup evolved now? Because usually, there's the contender, by the way. Mississippi still in first at the moment. Just behind him is Police Interceptor. Yep. Ooh, Fairhaven now in third, losing a point to. Was that Louisiana State Police?
Yeah, it looks like Louisiana.
State Police trying to start strong. How about it? Transit Police in fifth, Dark Blue. Transit Police in fifth, yes. Dark Blue PDNY in sixth, I believe, and then just behind them is going to be Detroit as well as Velasco. Yes. Looks like a bit of a position change. Louisiana State Patrol. I'm gonna say that a lot because for some reason my brain thinks that, even though it's State Police. It is not State Patrol. It's State Police. Louisiana State Police now in third, trying to catch up to the basically taking Fairhaven's basically taking a page out of Fairhaven's book from that last round. Particularly, it's almost like Transit. What happened to Transit Police? Well, Transit Police had himself a bit of an unfortunate time. Detroit now moving ahead, followed by Velasco City. Transit Police is just busted for some reason. Dark Blue PDNY moving ahead as well. I kind of feel bad for Transit Police at the moment.
It seems like Louisiana is actually making moves in his first episode compared to PDNY. Like he's already, I think, up to second now.
I fully agree. Is he really in second? No, he's in third, right? Behind
yeah,
Mississippi Police Interceptor. Yep, Louisiana State Police is now in third. Fairhaven trying to catch up to him as well.
It's like he's stealing the spotlight of Fairhaven from last episode.
Basically, what happened is that Louisiana. That's probably what I did. So yeah, Louisiana is not how you pronounce it. Anyway, Louisiana probably just saw Fairhaven do that on TV, and he decided to join the tournament and say, "I'm just gonna do that, except better." It was a very hold my beer kind of guy. But in any event, we are now going towards the beach turn. Runner rounds it just fine. No one will be able to capitalize on this here, but who will be moving off the rocks? Mississippi does fine. Police Interceptor does fine. Louisiana State Police does fine. Fairhaven does kind of not fine. Never mind. I ate my words a bit. Fairhaven is okay though. He'll be able to recover here. It took a bit of a bad beach turn, but
it might be a crash.
This does appear to be allowing Detroit to make it up to the front, but Fairhaven, despite being a little busted, is going to hold on to that fourth place position.
You know, Fairhaven's really, Fairhaven's really not having a good time in this episode. He's been like having his position stolen, and now he's all the way in the back because he spun out.
Well, I wouldn't quite call that the back, but I do agree. Fairhaven not having the greatest round today. To be fair to him, he did have that amazing win last episode. So you know, but yeah, it's not going the greatest for him at the moment. I fully agree. Ooh, Police Interceptor. Just something happens over the cinematic corner that I have no idea what. Did Louisiana State Police just stop or something?
Yeah, it looks like
Louisiana State Police is on his way moving again.
It looks like he got spun out by someone because he lost a lot of ground.
Possibly, yeah, I agree. He definitely did lose a bunch of ground. How is Velasco and Transit Police doing? How are they doing? Runner moving around that turn. Mississippi Police Interceptor Fairhaven. Transit Police stopped again. True Crime Dark Blue moving what he can do it. Detroit doing what he can. I think Transit Police should get a reset in the near future. Maybe not right this exact second, but Mississippi looks like he makes some contact with the runner here. Mississippi passes his impromptu teammate trying to make some contact. Yeah, he's making contact though.
Oh, we got spin.
He's getting a bit of a pin. Yep, the runner is now
going to hit him
backwards as a result. Who will be able to get that head-on collision? Police Interceptor bumps him but misses. Louisiana State Police, though, smashes right into the runner. What the actual frick? And the runner is now moving forward once again, but here is Mississippi State Trooper to absolutely block him. Look at that.
Wow, the AI is actually being smart for
once. Mississippi State Trooper pulling a complete APB, I would say. Runner is not stopped, but he is boxed in pretty much as a result of Mississippi State Trooper. True Crime Dark Blue just bumps into that person, who I believe is Velasco. Well done.
Yeah, what an interesting round. They actually used like police tactics this time instead of just slamming the runner off a cliff or something.
I agree. Very interesting round here. And of all people, Mississippi State Trooper is going to be the one to take it here, ladies and gentlemen, I would say, right?
I believe Louisiana should get some credit because he did like... It is his first round. He still like did something pretty significant.
His first exact round, Louisiana State Police did actually come on strong, seized that third place position from Fairhaven City, and managed to get some really good contact on the runner. But in the end, Mississippi State Trooper was able to, I would say, secure the point. Because look at this, he literally stopped the runner for the first time in the Grand Marshal tournament. Instead of the runner dying or being crashed into, Mississippi State Trooper actually just stopped the runner against the barrier.
Yes, it only took 7 episodes, and the runner was caught without being killed.
For that tap. It only took 7 episodes for someone to pull a page out of the police response team's playbook.
And also, it seems to be that Louisiana's making enemies early in his career in the tournament because he
I
already
fully agree. Louisiana State Police is a very aggressive competitor, making a lot of enemies here.
and now we will go on to the other competitors.
Indeed. Sorry, just writing that down. Police Interceptor didn't manage to do much in this episode. Now they did Detroit, I would say, but they did drive up to the scene of the end of the round. Louisiana did pretty well. Fairhaven did pretty well. Just wasn't his day, I would say. Blasco, I don't know what Blasco was doing. True Crime Dark Blue, not really sure what they were doing either. And Transit Police had some bad luck as well, I would say. Is that everyone?
It looks
Yeah,
to
I
me.
believe that's everyone. All 8 cars are here.
With the conclusion of this round with a very good police tactic, we will now reset all the cars and move on to the next one.
Here we are at the lineup for round number 20. Well done, me. Just freaking roundup. All right, next series is just going to be about cowboys or something. We're going to be playing Red Dead Redemption. But anyway, I digress. So Mississippi State Trooper in the first position with 4 points, though, is in second place in this tournament, just behind Police Interceptor. These two are really battling it out for first. Some of them with alliances, some of them on their own, but yes, they are truly battling it out for first. Having that first and second place position has definitely caused a lot of stiff competition between the two of them. Mississippi State Police is going to want to catch up to Police Interceptor and tie him for first. Well, Police Interceptor is probably going to want to solidify his lead as the rest of the cars are catching up. Very interesting rivalry here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what will happen in this round.
You know, it appears to be marking the end of the dominance of the police interceptor since other people are now scoring points and not just him.
Perhaps, yes, other people are now scoring points. The previous episode is where these cars finally decided that they have had enough of the police interceptor's dominance and have decided to band together in order to stop him in that very interesting round number. I think that was 18? Oh, wait, no, 17 and 18, I believe. Yeah, it was 17. It was actually 17, yes. Yes, but meanwhile, in the third place position, Fairhaven City finally, still an underdog, but finally shedding that whole only has 1 point thing. Yes, Fairhaven City now with 2 points in fourth place for the entire tournament, having some spectacular wins, though. Fairhaven City definitely a fan favorite here, especially because they are in the third place position in the lineup, and hopefully they will be able to use that newfound skill. Hopefully they will be able to use that newfound skill and courage in order to translate it into more points and put themselves in the top 3 as well. Just behind them is Louisiana State Police, starting strong, putting their best foot forward, but not able to translate into a point. However, they did have a very respectable performance in that last round, and we will hopefully be able to see if they will be able to become a much more daunting competitor to face for some of these other cars. In the fifth place position, Transit Police. I talk about them so often. They did win that East Coast tournament. Yes, and they have 3 points as well as an alliance with Mississippi State Troopers. So these two underdogs, the second and third place in the tournament, may be able to band together to stop and unseat Police Interceptor. However, Transit Police had a really bad time that last round, and hopefully they'll be able to bring some of the skills and bring some of the pain in this particular round. Just behind them, True Crime Streets of New York is PDNY Dark Blue. Hasn't really done much except crash Devion's game as well. Hopefully this time he'll be able to crash the runner instead of the game and secure himself a point in this tournament. Just behind him, Detroit Police. Nothing too interesting of note. Has 1 point, though. I don't even remember how that round went, honestly. Detroit, however, does have 1 round. I'm currently looking through my notes. He got a really good head-on collision. That's what I wrote down. So yeah, Detroit with 1 point. Detroit with the style points of shoving the shipping container off of that cliff in that 1 round. But besides that, really needs to catch up, or he may be under threat of elimination in this episode. And just behind him, Belasco City, the car that has no points, but who keeps finding excuses not to be eliminated, such as his spectacular performance as a roadblock instead of as a police car. He will definitely prove a very valuable teammate to make if possible. Yes, I would say if anyone can secure Belasco City as an ally, that would be very useful for them. It could possibly even bring Belasco City a point finally. In any event, it is time for round number 20, ladies and gentlemen. Activate your sirens, turn on your lights, fasten your seatbelts, and start your engines because round number 20 is here and about to begin. All right, well done, runner. Just backs up slightly into Mississippi State Trooper. Runner feeling a bit, runner, I guess, feeling a little bit confident in himself today, even though it is technically impossible for him to win this tournament. Yep, shipping container. Louisiana State Police moving in on the 4th position. The lineup is pretty much all solid as it is, ladies and gentlemen, in the first couple seconds of a round. Reaching up to the cinematic corner, what position changes will occur here, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. Police Interceptor has himself a bit of an interesting turn. Goes on the inside, but there's no one there to capitalize on it. Fairhaven City appears to do the same. Louisiana State Police moving forward as well. Not sure what's going on there. Yep, there's Transit Police. Louisiana State Police being super aggressive.
They cut him off.
Trying to contest Fairhaven City for that 3rd place position, but Fairhaven City denies it as well. Just behind him, Transit Police contests the Louisiana State Police, but is not able to manage anything there, and unfortunately lose their position to Detroit as well as Belasco. Transit Police having a really bad time, unfortunately, in this game. However, he is not technically in last place, as I believe the other car that is in last place is actually, wait, who is in last place? Is it True Crime Dark Blue that's in last place behind Transit Police?
I believe so.
I believe it is, yes. It is. Meanwhile, over at the Gavril Barstow's position, we have, here comes that cliff turn. Here comes this particular cliff U-turn as well. Has been known to screw up some cars recently. We'll see if any car, yeah, Fairhaven City, unfortunately, has himself a bit of... Fairhaven City is doing this weird thing where the cars just, like, go up that way, up that cliff.
Oh, oops.
That was Devion's fault. I'm not talking about it. I'm not going to say, like, Fairhaven crashes. Yeah, that was because of that. Transit Police, though, manages to capitalize on this chaos and secure, I believe that's the 3rd place position, honestly. There is, however, a lot of ground to make up, as the runner and the cars just behind him are already on the long straight, on the jump straight.
You know, it appears to be Louisiana is kind of getting into a lot of, like, issues here, because he keeps getting bumped around by everyone and, like, causing a bunch of problems.
Yes, Louisiana is definitely having himself a bit of a bad time in this game. However, the runner does scream over the jump straight, makes it to the long turn, followed closely by Mississippi State Trooper as well as the Police Interceptor, and just behind him, I believe, possibly very far away as well. Well, there's Fairhaven over there. Transit Police is now technically in... Oh, wait, was there someone in front of them?
Belasco's up ahead.
That Belasco in 3rd place out of nowhere. Didn't even know that. They're probably at the beach turn as well. I was having a bad time. What's going on at the beach turn? Meanwhile, Louisiana State Police screaming down the straight. Barstow seems fine. Mississippi is fine. Police Interceptor is fine. Belasco, none of us even know how it happened. It's just in 3rd place somehow. They're just in 3rd place. Followed closely by, I believe, Transit Police in 4th and Louisiana State Police possibly in 5th. Don't even know how this even managed to happen, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, the Barstow has managed to complete a lap around the track, but he is still followed closely by those 2 front runners. As meanwhile, the runner now reaching that cinematic corner for the 2nd time in this round, ladies and gentlemen, followed closely by the 2 front runners. Who is behind them, though? There's a lot of open road just behind Police Interceptor. So there's going to be a lot of... What happened to Police Interceptor, though? Police Interceptor is a little bit... having himself a bit of a weird time getting around that cinematic corner. That could mean... Oh, it's that transit... Well...
Reset?
That makes me sad. What the frick happened? This looks like a crime scene. Dark blue, PDNY just driving off while Transit Police is upside down. Okay, Detroit is now in the water. Belasco City, though, despite having a lot of ground to catch up, is technically in 3rd place. Belasco having himself a really nice time. And there's Transit Police in front of Louisiana State Police as well, doing what they can to catch up to Belasco, who is in turn trying to catch up to Police Interceptor, who is in turn trying to catch up to Mississippi, who is in turn trying to catch up to the runner. Once again, we arrive at the U-shaped cliff turn. Mississippi State Trooper appears to be rounding it just fine. No issues here. He rounds it just fine. Police Interceptor, I assume, is right behind him as well. Maybe, possibly. I don't see him, though. Yeah, it looks like Police Interceptor is not quite just behind him anymore as a result of that weird screw-up on the cinematic corner. Fair hit. I put that fair hit. Dark blue PDNY goes around the container. Belasco screaming down the incline as well. Louisiana screaming down the incline right behind him. Looks like they're kind of catching up.
Belasco goes into trees.
Bit of a bank, bit of a problem though. Some side points though, and he's back on his way. Hey, he goes unfortunately upside down. That's unfortunate for him. Everyone will flip him back over. I mean, hey, slide points though. Belasco City on his way, loses a few positions as a result of that though. Meanwhile, the Barstow screaming over the jump straight, I would say, followed closely by Mississippi. Here's the long turn. Here's the long turn as well. Hope these cars slow down and do not get screwed over. Looks like the Police Interceptor has managed to make up the lost ground just a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at the turn, and that means we're almost at the beach turn. That's the turn I'm in town. We're almost at the town, and we are now almost at the beach turn.
Oh, what's gonna happen here? He might spin out.
Quick, though. I think they're going in a bit quick.
Oh, wait, he saves it.
Runner appears to be fine. Mississippi is fine. Police interceptor is also fine. You should reset Fairhaven or pull them off.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
Well, that was a bad place to reset Fairhaven, though. Okay, well, Fairhaven, as a result of some poor timing, is now just casually reclaimed his third place position. Well done. Transit police moving around whatever turn this is. I think it's the long one. He's having himself a bit of a problem, but he saves it. He moves into the town. True Crime Dark Detroit just in the water somewhere. They deserve a reset too. Detroit's back. Velasco screaming down the jump straight as well. It goes over the jump right there. Hope he doesn't screw up this particular turn.
Oh, he's gonna hit something.
He may. There's True Crime Dark Blue as well. Maybe he won't. Maybe he won't.
Never mind. He saves it.
4 top points though. True Crime Dark Blue doing the same as well, going a bit wide there. Louisiana State Police is on the beach somewhere for some reason. Barstow now reaching the container. There's transit police in the background. Louisiana State Police trying to get back up on onto the road, and he has managed to be successful. Glasgow looks like he's gonna go into the drink now. Well, there goes Glasgow. Anyway, and here is the Barstow rounding down the incline or the ramp or the hill or whatever it is.
Oh, his brakes are really failing at this point.
His brakes are screwing up. That's a bit of a yikes. Yeah, it looks like the Barstow's having himself a bit of a problem. I don't even think anyone's really hit him this round. Has anyone hit him?
No, not really. But Mississippi has the best chance to steal a point this round.
Mississippi definitely has the best chance to steal a point here unless someone is moving the other direction and could possibly. I don't think so. Police interceptor crashed into something though. It's a bit interesting for him. Fairhaven City went up the freaking mountain again. I don't know why they're doing that. They honestly have. We've not seen them do that until episode 6, so that's a bit weird. Fairhaven trying to reclaim what he can, bumps into a rock. Well done. Yep, we have paused the game now as well in order to get rid of that. It has been gotten rid of, and the chase is back on. How are things going over at the runner's position? Police interceptor in Detroit having himself a bit of a contestation. Looks like Mississippi may end up getting some contact here. Mississippi, yep, getting some contact here. This is the jump straight. This Barstow, though, without the brakes, is just having himself a bit of a problem. This could equate to a spin out, ladies and gentlemen. Mississippi with some solid contact.
Oh, they're definitely getting caught at the beach turn. Like, they're just gonna go full speed and crash.
Possibly, yes. This is very interesting. This could be Mississippi's time to shine. This could be the day that they tie. This could be the day that they tie for first. This beach turn, here it is.
Oh wait, he goes around, gets caught on the bumper.
He is now in the drink. He's now on the beach. Mississippi Parks. The game crashed again.
Are you kidding me?
The freaking game crashed again. And we are back once again, ladies and gentlemen, after that particular technical difficulty. I think True Crime Streets of New York is trying to use some foul play, trying to bring over some of the bugs and glitches from his particular game. But in any event, the lineup is back on, and ladies and gentlemen, round 20 is back on. Last one was, we don't talk about that one. So yes, the runner on the way to the cinematic corner. All the cars are in their particular normal lineup. There's nothing for me to talk about. Therefore, I will be silent and observe until something interesting happens.
Looks like pretty normal so far. Any overtakes here? Nope, no overtakes yet. Oh, we got an overtake.
Never mind. Transit police on the 4th place position now, getting around Louisiana State Police. True Crime Dark Blue tries to do the same thing, but is not able to. Transit police now in 4th, trying to catch up with his impromptu teammate Mississippi as well. The runner heading down the incline here as well, followed close by Mississippi Police Interceptor Fairhaven as well as Transit Police. Very interesting four-car lineup. Very fierce competition here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the front runner, the Mississippi in 2nd place, Transit Police in 3rd place actually, and Fairhaven in 4th. Yeah, in terms of points, this is 1 through 4th place positions.
Oh, we got spin out. We got 2 spin outs.
A nice bit of a stylish drift over in the back. Louisiana having a bit of a problem as well. Transit Police doing what he can to regain that lost ground, but here comes Detroit and Velasco City. True Crime Dark Blue is just on the beach somewhere. Is that Louisiana as well that's stuck?
That is indeed Louisiana. That's also
stuck. Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana is also stuck as well. A bit of some problems for them over here, but meanwhile, how are things going back over on the runner side of things? Dark Blue trying to regain that ground. The runner is now going on the jump straight. Just behind him is, I believe, Mississippi State Trooper. Yes, indeed. Behind him, meanwhile, is Police Interceptor, Fairhaven there. Transit Police probably going to have a lot of ground to make up, but I believe Transit Police is still in the 4th place position, correct? Yes, here's Transit Police towards the back of the jump straight. True Crime Dark Blue kind of spins out just a little bit, unfortunate for him. Detroit now on the jump straight, actually, as well as Blasco. Detroit and Blasco doing what they can to catch up, but here's the town. The runner's now in the town. Meanwhile, Police Interceptor screaming in, but Fairhaven just behind him as well. These guys are coming into the beach turn a bit fast. I think possibly Barstow breaks successfully. Mississippi breaks successfully. Police Interceptors breaks successfully. Fairhaven City, meanwhile,
he makes it through fine.
Goes into the sand a little bit, but is otherwise okay. We're counting it. Meanwhile, in the 4th place, how will Transit Police fare over on the beach turn? Please don't crash.
He goes off into the beach.
I just said it. Dang it. Well, as a result of that, in the 4th place position is Detroit now. Blasco has a bit of a bump as well. Transit Police doing what he can to recover. He is going to do that. I think he has minimal damage from that as a result as well. Even though his wheel and his hubcap, his hubcap, I believe, went flying into space as well. It actually went, they went to another planet. But in any event, yep, here's the cinematic corner. Once again, we have our top 3. We have our top 3
Interceptor spun out.
Interceptor spinning out a little bit, actually. Fairhaven City manages to get around him. No, this is a battle for second, but Police Interceptor manages to keep it in the end. Fairhaven, though, proving what he can do. This is Louisiana State Police just stuck somewhere. Well done. Good work. I don't think he's going to be able to drive very far with that. Meanwhile, Transit Police stuck in a rock. Hold on. We're just going to fix that. Everything will be fine. Yep. He's back on. Blasco City with the same thing. Transit Police and Blasco City now trying to get back into the fight as best they can. True Crime Dark Blue is actually on his way to... Is this a cinematic? No, that's not where... Oh, no, it's the... Right, okay, the dish. Okay. Mississippi rounding out the U-turn as well. He is catching up just a little bit. Runner's right up there, but here comes Police Interceptor in 2nd place. Fairhaven very close to Police Interceptor as well. Louisiana State Police crashes again. Okay, I don't even know who that was. Transit Police moving forward once more. Dark Blue PDNY appears to have some busted steering. Oh, Detroit busting himself on the U-turn as well. Blasco's still going strong, though. Blasco's still going strong, despite having a lot of ground to make up.
Mississippi is like slowly taking its time to catch up to a runner. Probably still thinking of a plan to take him out.
Yes, I agree. Mississippi, despite being very fierce competition, appears to have a very methodical style, using a lot of conscious tactics and doing what he can. Doing what he can with what he's got.
Oh, that's a bumper or a door.
Barstow casually just crashes into Barstow casually bumps into a part from someone else. Police Interceptor rounding out the turn as fast as he can. Fairhaven doing it as well. I don't even know who that was. What the frick is this?
Oh, looks like they're trying to set up a roadblock.
Blasco having himself a fancy time over on the incline. I don't even know what's going on. But this is a bit of a roadblock here, ladies and gentlemen. If we keep that there, could have ourselves a bit of an interesting game.
Oh, we got spin out.
Wait, the runner, though, is a bit stuck. It's a battle between Police Interceptor and Mississippi State Trooper, ladies and gentlemen. Someone else crashed. I believe it was Detroit. Fairhaven is just back there, too. Yeah, Fairhaven stuck on what I believe, whoever that even was. And then out of nowhere, Police Interceptor and Mississippi are essentially working together to stop the runner for no freaking reason, despite the fact they are technically competitors. The Barstow is now on the beach doing what he can. He's the Police Interceptor. Mississippi bumps into Police Interceptor. Bit of a mess here, ladies and gentlemen. It kind of sort of allows the runner to...
Oh, Barstow's going the other way.
There's a huge pile up here. Will the Barstow be able to get through it? He bumps into Fairhaven. Police Interceptor bumps into him as well. Detroit is here as well. Mississippi bumps into Police Interceptor.
Barstow's still going, though.
Runner's still going.
I believe he's still going.
The runner is still going, despite the fact that 5 of our...
No, his car's dead. His car's dead. We got him.
Oh, well. Yeah, I don't know who won that.
Yeah, he bumped into Fairhaven, and then everybody just piled up behind him.
Literally every...
Oh, here comes...
Here comes True Crime Dark Blue out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm going to call that round a draw, honestly.
Really, no points awarded, because basically everyone worked together to do things.
Mississippi... They literally just decide... This is like the Christmas truce of 1914, in a way. They just decided to put the competition on hold and all work together. Fairhaven, Velasco, and Transit Police made a roadblock up front. Fairhaven and Louisiana made a roadblock at the beach turn. Mississippi and Police Interceptor were in the front. Detroit and Dark Blue PDNY were reserve reinforcements.
Yeah, it was like this entire round was just setting up roadblocks to take out the runner. I believe they might be still there trying to stop it.
Literally every single car participated. Well, transit police is. What happened to Velasco?
What did happen to Velasco?
Where is Velasco? Did Velasco go back to Velasco City?
No, he's stuck on the ditch
Where
turn.
is that the?
No,
the
it's cinematic
huh?
corner. Interesting.
Oh, they were trying to go back around. Also, I like how someone's bumper is right next to them in dark blue.
You know, it seems to be a draw. What do you think, Username?
I think we could consider this a draw unless we want to do something unprecedented here in the Grand Marshal tournament and give every single car a point. Because they literally worked all as a team, all of them.
Well, Velasco and Detroit were kind of, I believe, no, not Detroit. Velasco and Transit Police were kind of far away when all this happened, so I don't...
I know, but they still set up a roadblock, and as far as they knew, the runner was on the way to it.
That is true. I guess we could award every car a point. You agree? I guess, yeah, you agree with that?
That is true, we could if we want. It wouldn't quite be as poetic as Velasco finally getting a point in some insane round. Their first point coming from a team effort is still cool, but I don't know, what do you think?
Well, we could just not award them since they weren't here at the time.
Well, they did still work as a team.
So that is...
Interesting
We will now
round.
speak to the judges to see
We
what...
won't have to speak to the judges, yeah.
Yep. So now the word is back from our judges, and they have decided that everyone will be awarded a point in this round.
That's pretty interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lineup for round number 21, the final round of this episode. In a very unprecedented last round, every single car just decided to put the competition on hold and work together. And as a result, every single car has been awarded a point. Mississippi State Trooper now at 5 points, still just behind Police Interceptor with 6 points. Fairhaven City has also been awarded that point as well because he served as a roadblock. He now has 3 points. Louisiana State Police has been awarded his first points as a result of that team effort. He was part of the roadblock as well. Let's see. We got Transit Police with 4 points as well, who served by preparing a roadblock over at the incline. And just behind him, True Crime Dark Blue also arrived there as a reserve, pretty much. Same with Detroit, who both have been given a point. So Detroit is now at 2. True Crime Dark Blue is at 1. And Belasco City, his first point, finally, after 20 freaking rounds, as a result of the team effort, has now also been awarded a point. He's finally maybe going to be able to claw his way out of there as a result of that newfound pride. And to be fair, he didn't do nothing. He was in the roadblock with Transit Police, and after that, he was also preparing for a head-on collision. He was gonna try and go stop the runner if the runner wasn't stopped already. So yeah, it was all a team effort. Every single car got a point. Very unprecedented for the tournament. But in terms of the balance of power, it has not been upset because everyone has gone up by 1. So yes, here's the final round, ladies and gentlemen. Activate your sirens, turn on your lights, start your engines, fasten your seatbelts because round number 21 is about to begin. Blasco in the background appears to just be backing up, wanting to go the other way. Possibly, maybe. Police Interceptor, though, in the front. Up, Blasco turning back around again. Never mind. Fairhaven in the number 3 spot. Followed by Louisiana State Police. Transit Police well in the 5th position. And meanwhile, the runner now moving around to the ditch turn, followed closely by Mississippi State Trooper as well.
Well, I don't think following closely is the correct term because he is quite far away.
Yeah, maybe not that closely, you know. So, my friend Devion, what do you think about the way that?
Oh, Fairhaven's off the cliff almost.
What's Fairhaven doing though?
It gets hit by Louisiana.
Losing the position to Louisiana State Police as well, but also Transit Police. Transit Police taking advantage of this and just screaming, Dark Blue.
Dark Blue just goes into the water.
Just heading off to the drink. Well, meanwhile, Transit Police is now in the 3rd position. Detroit and Fairhaven now fighting for one of those previous positions. Here comes Belasco as well, and over in the front, the runner is now heading down the incline, followed closely by followed by Mississippi Police Interceptor and Transit Police now in the 3rd position, taking advantage of Fairhaven's misfortune in order to move ahead and see what he can do. Here comes Louisiana State Police as well, but here comes the U-turn with the cliff that a lot of the cars seem to screw up on. Dark Blue PD and watched in the water as well. And Mississippi goes around fine. Police Interceptor goes fine. Transit Police as well just goes up the cliff again. Same with Louisiana State Police. Fairhaven, they literally just turn left. Some of them just turn left and go up the cliff for some reason. I have no idea why. How are things going? That was weird. How are things going over the runner? Fairhaven is in the forest a little bit. Detroit trying to move around the forest turn. Blasco same there. Where's the runner though? Here is the runner. He is at the long straight, followed by Mississippi again, as well as Police Interceptor. And I don't even know who's in the third place position anymore as a result of this. Maybe Louisiana. Fairhaven is now being moved back onto the road. Fairhaven kind of bump. Louisiana going around the beach turn. Actually, he's going the other way, I believe. Yep, here comes the turn. Louisiana could be his time to shine as well.
Oh, it might be
Here
his
he
time to
comes,
shine.
actually. Will the head-on happen? The head-on happens. Louisiana State Police hits the runner right on directly, and Mississippi does the same thing. Is the runner stopped though? Mississippi,
Oh, here comes Transit Police.
Though, as well, Transit Police delivering that blow as well.
And here comes everybody else.
So we're still going. Oh, there's a fifth car here. Yep, here's Detroit. Oh, here comes someone else again. I think that's Blasco. Yep, here's Blasco. Bumps into Detroit. Well done.
What an end to this episode. We basically have everyone here.
Episode, yeah.
Who knew Louisiana would do so much in his debut episode? Because, like...
Who knew Louisiana would do so much in his debut episode? And yeah, and who knew any of that would have happened?
Yeah, first of all, he gets his 2 points in the first episode he's in. He gets into, like, how many rivalries, and then he ends the episode with a head-on collision at the town.
He gets into all kinds of rivalries. He gets into a head-on collision. It is absolutely nuts.
And he has a roadblock.
I do feel that I want to give Transit Police credit as well for that, because he did manage to kind of sort of get the head-on. It's just that Louisiana was there first.
That is true, but,
Honestly,
yeah.
if you reset Transit Police first, Transit Police would have done that.
That might be true. He was, like...
Yeah.
Reset at the same time.
They were reset. Yeah, they were reset at the same time. Louisiana was reset first.
So Transit and Louisiana get a point.
I think I would agree with that. Yes, they got themselves some nice luck in that round, and Transit Police and Louisiana have now been awarded themselves a point, which means Transit Police is now tied for second with Mississippi, and Louisiana now has 2 and is tied with Detroit for 4th.
And now we will look over the other competitors.
I mean, there's not much to look over. Everyone is here except Fairhaven, which is a little busted somewhere, and Dark Blue, True Crime PDNY Dark Blue, which just went off the cinematic corner. In any event, ladies and gentlemen, now that round 21 has concluded, I believe it is time for us to eliminate one of the cars in this game.
What are your thoughts? I don't really have anything right now.
Oh, well, there goes someone's engine. My thoughts, I'm gonna say, is Blasco did pretty well. Detroit did alright. Mississippi did great. Transit Police did great. Louisiana did great. Police Interceptor did great. Fairhaven did great. That leaves True Crime Dark Blue. I don't know. I think I'm gonna say that maybe possibly.
Yeah, True Crime Dark Blue did indeed crash my game 2 times. We were putting the blame on
True Crime Dark Blue actually crashed your game, screwed with the hardware and the equipment for the show, and then in the end just drove off a cliff and did nothing. They could have been here. They could have been here in this pileup, but they just drove off a cliff. So I'm gonna vote for True Crime Dark Blue.
And the decision has been made final. True Crime Dark Blue has been eliminated from the tournament.
Yes, hopefully in the future when True Crime White eventually arrives in the tournament one day, they will be able to avenge him, or at least do better. But in any event, that is it for round number 21, and that is also it for episode 7 of this Grand Marshal tournament. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my co-commentator friend Devion, and hope to see you guys in the next one. We will be signing off.